Here's another small but very useful iPhone trick you've probably never seen before. Pull down the control center, hold the screen, click add a new control, then add the timer, tap down here to save it. And now you have access to a new interface, which is by far the easiest and most efficient way to set a really quick timer on your iPhone. Infinitely easier than going to the clock app, going over to timers, and scrolling through this little interface just to set a simple timer. It's a little thing, but it's genuinely helpful. Have you noticed how in the last 1 to 3 years you've been getting a lot more of these scammy text messages? You know the ones I'm talking about, you might get like 5 or 6 of these a day. And even worse, you might have noticed how they're getting kind of convincing, where if you order a package from somewhere, you'll get a scam text message from that carrier literally the day you order the package. There's actually a very specific reason why this is happening. I'm gonna explain why and how you can prevent it. So when you submit your data anywhere, most companies reserve the right to sell it on an open market to make a few extra bucks. The problem is that market has converted from a gray market to a black market. So let's say this is you. A few years ago, if you were to submit your data to a company and they reserve the right to sell it, which almost all of them did, they only really sell it to 2 people. One is going to be advertisers for things like serving ads. The other is going to be for things like census and political data. When we agree to our data being sold, this is more or less what we expect. No legitimate company 2 or 3 years ago or now would willingly sell your data to a bad actor. It would ruin their brand. But unfortunately now, pretty much every bit of data that gets submitted online through a legit company or not finds its way over here. It's because of these guys. These are called data brokers. But because data has recently gotten so valuable with the rise of AI and everything, these companies saw the opportunity to make a whole bunch off of it. What these data brokers do is they build a bunch of direct relationships with these end data buyers, so they can get one record of data from a company, sell it 6, 7, 8, 9, sometimes as much as 100 times. This is fine on paper, but there's 2 main vulnerabilities there. Sometimes the data broker wants to make some extra money and they'll sell it on to a bad actor who's usually willing to pay a lot for it. And then where it gets really bad, data brokers often sell to other data brokers because again, they're willing to pay more money for it. Those sell to other data brokers who sell to other data brokers, and eventually down the line, there's going to be a bad actor data broker that's selling your data to people doing fraud, scam text messages, trying to steal your credit card, all this stuff. The worst part is this data trade happens instantly, so as soon as you submit your data to the company, all of these other companies have it pretty much immediately. Now, the really scary cherry on top is data aggregation. Let's say you submit your data to another company. In this case, let's say you track a parcel on one of those sketchy tracking parcel sites where you only submit your IP and the tracking number. If another data broker that already has your email and phone number and all of your information buys that data, matches your IP, combines all the data records, they now know you have a package from FedEx, exactly what the tracking number is, and all your name and information tied to it, and that's why you get those text messages. Now, the silver lining here is data companies fortunately need to remove your data when you request them, but because of how crazy the data broker trade has gotten, it's really unrealistic to do that because so many companies have your data as soon as you submit it, and there's only one real way to solve this. And that's by sending one big mass deletion request to all of the data brokers that have your data all at the same time. And crucially doing that on a regular basis, so when a company does sell off your data, you catch it before it gets going down into this nightmare. You can't really do this manually, but luckily there are a lot of services out there online that allow you to do it. I use one called Delete Me, who are sponsoring this video, but it's one of those dream sponsorships where I use them anyway. They're just willing to pay me to talk about it. When you sign up, it does one big sweep of all the data brokers with your data, and then crucially removes them regularly on a monthly basis. You even get these really nice monthly reports that tells you exactly where your data's been. These are really neat to review, but honestly, other than that, it's super hands-off. Because they're sponsoring this video, I did manage to get you guys a 20% off code, so if you use Brett Tech when you're checking out, it will give you 20% off. Honestly, worth it to stop the scam text alone, but this also protects you from things like identity fraud, credit card theft, all these other things. Super worth it. Check out Delete Me in my bio, and I'll catch you in the next video.